Hello, my name is Annika D, and we are doing A Doll's House, and I will be playing Nora.
And my name is Seta W, and I will be playing the role of DollsHouse-Seta.
Keep your voice down, my husband's in there.
I don't care where he is.
What do you want?
Information.
Well, what is it? Hurry up.
I suppose you know I've been dismissed.
I couldn't stop it, Mr. Krogstad. I fought for you as hard as I could, but it was no good.
Doesn't your husband love you? He knows I can denounce you, and yet he still has the face to...
Do you really think I've told him?
No. To tell you the truth, I didn't think you had. Good old Torvald Helmer. It wouldn't be like him to show so much virility.
Mr. Krogstad, if you're going to talk about my husband, please show some respect.
Oh, I respect him. Good heavens. Yes. But, since you're so carefully keeping this secret, I can only assume that since yesterday, you found out a little bit more about the exact implications of what you've done.
Yes, more than you could ever teach me.
Oh, well, of course. I'm such a hopeless lawyer.
What do you want?
Just to see how you are, Mrs. Helmer. I've been thinking about you all day. You see, even debt collectors and hack journalists and people like me still have some traces of what we call feelings.
Then show some. Think of my children.
Have you or your husband ever thought of mine? Not that it matters. All I wanted to say was that you needn't take all this too seriously. I'm not intending on laying any charges against you for the time being.
No, I didn't think you would.
No one has to know anything about it. The whole thing can be settled quite amicably between the three of us.
But my husband must never find out about it.
And how do you propose we stop him from finding out? Or perhaps you're in a position to pay me back the balance.
No, not right away.
Or perhaps you've some way of raising the money over the next few days.
No way I'd care to use.
In any case, it wouldn't be of much use to you. However much money you offered me, you'd never get me to part with that contract.
What use is it to you? Can you explain that?
I want to keep it. To have it in my hand. No outsider will know anything about it. So if you're considering some desperate plan,
I am.
like running away,
I am.
or something worse than that,
How did you know that?
forget it.
How do you know what I'm thinking?
Most people think of that in the beginning. I did. But I didn't have the courage.
Neither have I.
No. You haven't the courage either, have you?
No. I haven't. I haven't.
Anyway, it would be an extremely stupid thing to do. All that'll happen is a slight domestic crisis and then... I have a letter to your husband in my pocket.
Telling him about it?
As euphemistically as possible.
He mustn't ever read that letter. I'll find a way to get the money somehow.
Mrs. Helmer, I thought I'd just explain
No,
to you...
I'm not talking about the money I owe you. Tell me how much you want from my husband and I will get it.
I don't want money from your husband.
Then what do you want?
I'll tell you then, shall I, Mrs. Helmer? I want to get back, and I want to get on. And your husband is going to help me. I've worked there a year and a half, the whole time, struggling along in the most abject poverty, but I was quite happy to work my way up, step by step. Not anymore, though. Not since I was kicked out. It's not enough for me anymore to just be given my job back. Like I said, I want to get on. I want promotion. Your husband will have to create a new post for me.
He'll never do that.
Oh, yes, he would. I know him. He wouldn't dare raise a murmur. And once we're working together, you'll see what'll happen. It'll be me, Nils Krogstad, not Torvald Helmer running the Joint State Bank?
I'll never manage it.
Well, you're not going to.
I do have the courage now.
You don't frighten me. A spoiled, sensitive lady like you.
You'll see. You'll see.
Ah. Under the ice will it be? Into the cold, pitch-black water? Floated to the surface next spring. Bloated, hairless, unrecognizable.
You can't frighten me.
And you can't frighten me either. People don't do things like that, Mrs. Helmer. Anyway, what use would it be? I'd still have your husband exactly where I want him.
What? Afterwards?
You forget that I own your reputation. And now you know. So don't do anything stupid. When Torvald's read my letter, I'll expect an answer from him. And remember, it's your husband that forced me back on this path. I'll never forgive him for that. Goodbye, Mrs. Helmer.